Greetings, people of Earth. Welcome back. My name is Jax, and today we are going to be talking about princess treatment versus the bare minimum. Now, this has been a trend for a while, and if you are unfamiliar with it, essentially what it is girlfriends making their boyfriends stand at the edge of like a pool or something and asking them various questions if the thing that they've asked is princess treatment or the bare minimum. And if the guy gets it wrong, he gets pushed into the pool. Now, this has raised an interesting question in the dating world about what is the bare minimum of treatment for a partner and what is just princess treatment, what is like going above and beyond and being exceptional. So I thought I would review some of these princess treatment versus bare minimum questions and talk about them like an actual human being, because so many of them that you would think are princess treatment are actually not. Like, some of them are the bare minimum and vice versa. So I think it'd be kind of funny. The first one, and this is like kind of the main one that everyone starts off with, is texting to make sure you get home safe. Now, you have to decide, is this the bare minimum or is this princess treatment? I hate to tell you, but in 2025, it's pretty obvious that this is the bare minimum. If you are not texting your relationship, even your date, if you're not texting them to make sure that, yeah, I made it home or whatever, what are you doing? Unfortunately, a lot of these questions are going to be very hyper focused. Like, you might be of a generation or just of a kind of person who thinks, oh, it's no big deal. Like, I don't need to text them, I get home. And back in the day, I'm sure that would have been fine, but we live in a chronically online, social media obsessed, anxiety ridden, ADHD filled population. And so, yeah, you absolutely have to text someone to make sure that, they got home safe, or you text them and say, I got home safe. So that's bare minimum. Now, I'm going to be, throughout these things, there's going to be a correct answer, which is what the general population believes is the correct answer for these. And then I'm going to give you my take on them, because like I said right then, I know that question was the bare minimum, but I also disagree with it needing to be the bare minimum, because like, everyone can just chill, dating doesn't have to be this intense set of rules and structures. Like, you kind of get to do whatever you want and whatever feels comfortable in your relationship. So yeah, you're going to get the real answer that they're looking for, and then you're going to get my answer, which will clarify. Buying you flowers just because. Now, some of these questions are obviously like centered towards obviously heterosexual relationships, and I'm gay, so some of these things aren't totally applicable. That being said, I have absolutely bought boys flowers. Guys love flowers. I don't know if you know this, but if you've never bought a boy flowers, go do that, because you will make their day. However, buying flowers just because, now, let's check what the real answer is real quickly here. So most people agree that this one is princess treatment, but 46%, this is a BuzzFeed quiz, by the way, 46% say it's the bare minimum. Now, I understand why it's princess treatment. That being said, like I said before, I have done this before. I have bought people random gifts or flowers, or, just let them know that I was thinking about them. And I do think that is the bare minimum. It doesn't have to be every single date. It doesn't have to be all the time. It doesn't have to constantly be this thing where you're just giving this person so many gifts. But it is the bare minimum in the fact that you need to let the person know that you think about them and that you love them. And I don't think that is too controversial. So moving on. Okay, we're getting to the real chronically online ones. This one is liking your Instagram posts. So if you post a picture on Instagram, maybe it's just you and your friends, maybe it's you and your partner, maybe it's like you and your dog, maybe it's just a picture of a sunset. Does your partner have to like that picture? Now, I know that this is going to be the bare minimum, and let's just confirm. Yep, 90% of people think this is the bare minimum. However, here's my actual answer. This is insane. It's quite insane to, be caring whether or not your boyfriend or girlfriend likes your Instagram picture, because they like you. They're clearly invested in who you are. So there's a million reasons why they might not like your picture. Maybe they didn't see it. Maybe they're not online all the time. There are so many little like eventualities that just mean like, oh, I didn't see this. I have a busy life. Whatever. I don't go on Instagram, or you know, sometimes when you post something that's not, of your face or whatever, like I'm just scrolling through Instagram and I don't even notice that you posted it. I looked at it, but I didn't recognize like your camera angle or whatever. So yeah, I think you can draw some conclusions. Like, I think if you don't like your partner's Instagram pictures, your partner is going to be a little crazy and be like, you must hate me. Like, why don't you like my Instagram poster? So I think it's probably just easier to like your partner's Instagram photos. It takes no effort at all. Like when you see them, you just like them. That's pretty basic. But for everyone who's not on Instagram, you must think we're all insane, and we are. So there we go. Texting you good morning and good night every single day. Now, again, this is the whole chronically online thing. When I've had partners, it's not uncommon for me to go a day without texting them. Like, I'm not a big texter. I much rather prefer being in person, or at the very least, like a FaceTime call. But I also move around quite a bit. And so when I've been in relationships, I haven't been the best at this whole good morning, good night thing. And I have gotten it in the neck for not being good at this. Typically, I'm with someone who does try to text me good morning and good night and like, how was your day and that kind of thing. And I guess it's like quite different nowadays because people aren't just like getting married and moving in together. A lot of us like date far away from each other. We do long distance, or we just live in different parts of the town, or we have different lives, so we don't always see each other every day. So I don't think this is like something that existed 40 years ago. I don't know if back in the day of landlines, like, did you call your partner every single night and say like, good night, like, I love you? I don't know if that was the case. Maybe it was, but I didn't exist at that point. So I'm gonna guess that the people think that this is the bare minimum. Yeah, 75% of people think good night and good morning text every day is the bare minimum. Again, I think this is a little extra. I'm a person just really doesn't like care. Like if I love a person, they'll know that I love them and they don't need that like thing. I would much rather like have a conversation and be like, hey, like what did you get up to today? Like, how was that exam? How was this? But this is the world we live in. So planning surprise date nights. I personally think that this is a bit of princess treatment, and the people agree. Almost 60% of people think planning a surprise date night is princess treatment. And I mean, it really comes down to like what you find comfortable in a situation. I have made surprise date nights, and I've also been given surprise date nights, and they are really fun. They're really nice. Again, 99% of these are just making sure that your partner knows that you care for them and that you love them. It's pretty simple. So yeah. Anyway, carrying heavy bags. I'm just gonna read some of these because like I don't care that much. Carrying heavy bags probably is gonna be the bare minimum. Yeah, it is the bare minimum. Again, a little bit different in a gay relationship for me, because we're both dudes and typically we're about the same size. But yeah, I can see why if it was a man and a woman, like that would be considered by the woman as like a bare minimum. Like, okay. Paying for non-date things like getting your nails done or buying you coffee. I would say that's princess treatment, and most people agree that that is princess treatment. Some people, I feel like this quiz was definitely made for like the women who are very high maintenance and kind of expect everything. Like I know some of these people who kind of expect the world and they expect to be just treated beautifully all the time. And that's not how life works. That's not the reality. So yeah, you're gonna get a few of those. Writing handwritten love notes. Again, this is princess treatment. This is something that I do, so I consider this kind of not necessarily the bare minimum, but it's just something I do that I like to do. Bringing you soup when you're sick. Now, I have to say this because my best friend is a soup girly. I'm gonna say this is the bare minimum, and most people agree. Okay, well, again, I think like if your partner's sick, you should, do something to make them feel better because no one likes being sick. So I would say that that's the bare minimum. Not necessarily bringing them soup, although soup is fantastic, but showing that you care and that you're there for them while they are sick. Bare minimum kind of stuff. There's a bunch of these. I'm just gonna read through them so you kind of get the idea of what this whole thing is pulling your chair out at dinner. Most people agree that's a bare minimum kind of thing. It's just kind and courteous. Complimenting your looks and personality regularly. Again, you see, like, you can kind of understand the self-absorbed girl that must have wrote these questions. Again, most people think that that is the bare minimum. You got to compliment. Like, again, it's showing that you care. That's what 90% of these are. Planning a weekend getaway for the two of you. Probably princess treatment. I think a lot of these questions are based on like how expensive something is. So like if the thing that you want to do for your partner is quite expensive, people are going to consider that princess treatment versus just the bare minimum. And if there are things you can do that are free, like asking a girl how her day was and all that kind of stuff, that's going to be bare minimum because it's so easy to do. There's no economic loss to asking your girlfriend how her day was. Celebrating your accomplishments, big and small. I'm going to say it's bare minimum. 91% say it's bare minimum. Again, it's completely free just to like actually care about your partner. It's really not that hard. It's not that deep. Giving you their hoodie when you're cold. This is a bare minimum. Same. 84% of people think it's a bare minimum. I do this with all my friends, like not even just my boyfriends. Like I got a lot of cold people around my life and I've got a lot of nice hoodies. So I still haven't seen some of them. Anyway, holding the umbrella for you when you both are walking in the rain. Probably a bare minimum. Yep, it's a bare minimum, 82%. Remembering some of your favorite things and surprising you with them. Snacks, your favorite coffee, concert tickets. Oh my gosh, you know how expensive those are. 71% think it's the bare minimum, just remembering, I absolutely love it when I'm talking with a guy and they remember that like my favorite color is forest green, or, they just remember random things like that. I just like lose my mind. I think that is so attractive. Actually listening, the bar is in hell. I'm sorry. Showing interest in your hobbies, even if they aren't similar to theirs. That's a bare minimum for sure. 85% say it's the bare minimum. You don't have to like your person's hobby, but you do have to know something about it and actually care about them and what they do. Holding hands in public. This is one that the gays would not have the same opinion on. 92% think it's a bare minimum. In gay relationships, you will very rarely see two gay men holding hands. Like that is not something we do. It's a very clear sign that you are in a relationship with somebody, and if you are unsure of the area or the people that are around you, and you will always be unsure of the people around you, you don't do that. So there we go. There's one that's like very different. Picking you up and carrying you over puddles and mud. Man, what kind of Disney movie do we live in? That's princess treatment apparently. Okay, that's good. At least some people have some reality and they get it. Always letting you be the little spoon. Again, a totally different thing in the gay world, that one's pretty divided. Only 55% think that is the bare minimum, being the little spoon. So those are the kind of things that people my age really worry about and think about all the time, which is insane. I'm just going to say that now. But anyway, this whole thing is based off of the idea of effort and how much you care about somebody and how much you're willing to, obsess over who they are and what they do and how they like your Instagram pictures. So a lot of these are, again, for the chronically online, for people who need to just take a breath. But if you didn't know about this before, you're welcome. I'm so happy to have introduced you to a really dumb thing that exists. Anyway, let me know what you think. Were there any on there that you were like, that's definitely bare minimum, and then you found out it was princess treatment, or vice versa? And what's the craziest thing you've ever done for a partner? What kind of princess treatment have you done? You know, maybe I'll do a story time about my princess treatment stuff. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you're having a beautiful day, week, month, year, century, millennium, eon, epoch. Whatever you're having, I hope it's amazing. And as always, I will talk to you guys tomorrow.